then you're probably familiar with this baby right here. This is the Veto Pro Pack Tech Pack Blackout. So I'm going to run you through what is in my Veto Pro Pack Tech Pack Blackout. I'm gonna cover all the tools. There'll be a link to everything in the description. It's their full-size backpack, but the panels that are inside swap out. Now I'm really lame and boring and I have the original panels in there, the same ones that come in the normal Tech Pack, but I love them. So if you notice here, there is a little strap and it basically just holds this up so that it doesn't just flop over all the time. If you have a bunch of weight on there, you can place stuff there. I feel like it does do a good job of helping make things sturdy. There is quite a bit of difference here, I think, in mine than most people's. And it's that I use these as plier holders instead of screwdriver holders. I think it looks awesome. I think it's super cool. I've got this Fiskars box knife here. I love this. It's super comfortable. I've got like 4 of them. The Knipex pliers wrench. These things are super handy, super useful. I've got these combination pliers here. So basically they're a needle nose, shear, and a wire stripper for 14 and 12 gauge solid wire. If I'm on a residential job or something like that, I like to use these. One feature about these is that the tip on this is not got any serrations on it, and so it doesn't damage wires the same. So I do like to use these for that purpose. I've got the classic chrome plated needle nose pliers from Knipex with the VDE handles. I love the VDE handles. They're so comfortable. It's really hard to use anything else just with the cutting power and also the comfortability that Knipex offers. This little thing here is a stud finder. It just fits in my bag really well. Basically, it finds a screw. It's a magnetic ball, and you can move it on the wall, find the screws. I like it just for how lightweight it is. Obviously, there's easier methods, but not that are worth me carrying in my bag. I've got these shears here. These things will lop so much off, and I commonly use these to strip larger cables as well. Here I've got a #1 square in the green from Wera. It's kind of ugly because it's the Packers colors. If you don't know who the Packers are, you're not an American. But I do love Wera screwdrivers very much. And then here I've got a small flathead screwdriver, very common size here. I've got a box wrench here with 3/8, 1/2 inch, 5/16, and 7/16 with the reversible mechanism here. This is from Crescent. I've also got 2 of the Wera Jokers, the 7/16 and 9/16. They're the off-centered, so they are slanted, so you don't have to have it against the wall. Reversible as well. Here we've got a Klien mini ratchet. I find this is so much easier to use than a stubby because you can actually like get leverage on it. And it's also a lot thinner of a profile, so it's really easy to get into different places, and it just accepts bits. So if it's a Phillips or a flathead or whatever it is, you can change the bit on it and use something different. And then here, I've got an interchangeable electronic screwdriver from Klien. It's got 2 flatheads and 2 Phillips. This portion of it spins and is not really connected to the screwdriver. Now we'll get into some of the stuff in this lower quadrant here. Have a small Wera beater screwdriver. It's got the metal plate on the back end and it's completely connected through. It's actually considered a chisel driver. Great tool here. I've got another larger version. This is my favorite beater ever. I mean, I love this screwdriver. Got a #2 square from Wera with the VDE handles. I have a regular flathead from Wera that is not insulated. I like the shaft on this. It fits really well in case there's anything. These 2 things shouldn't be in here. It's a #2 Phillips from Felo, VDE version and a regular version. I do like these screwdrivers. I have some Knipex bolt cutters here, just a small pair. I use these for all kinds of stuff, chain and screws, anything that I don't want to ruin my diagonal cutters on. I always use these babies right here. Some 10 shears here, just from Lenox, just a straight pair. I use these to cut the brackets that hold ceiling tile. If you're going up a wall, that's really the only place that I ever use those. I've got a small pair of diagonal cutters here from Knipex, and they have a stripper on them, and it's 12 and 14 gauge wire. They have a really sharp nose to them as well, so if it's something tight, I just use these. These might be a little bit overkill, but in a pinch, I like them, or if I just want to carry one set instead of strippers and diagonal cutters, I use these a lot more in residential if I'm stripping Romex or MC cable. I have an extension here. I've got all those bits in the back. This is my 7-in-1 nut driver from Klien. It's got 7 different sizes. They're hollow shafted, and most of them are magnetic, so you can run a nut up onto a bolt. It's got everything you need here. The handle is huge, but it's just like so much easier than carrying 7 different nut drivers. This little thing here, very interesting. They're all plastic, so if you have to do any hot work or anything like that, there's no way for you to short anything out with these unless you touch it to something else. Sometimes they make me feel more comfortable. Sometimes you're not very comfortable, and these can make those situations just a little bit better. These are my step cutters. They're a pair of shears. You would never guess how easy it is to cut with these. These babies are probably my favorite set of shears. It's a Knipex wire stripper. You just open it up and you set it to the right depth, and you can spin around and then you pull it off. It's very easy. As soon as you set it correctly, strips larger cables very easily. I do really enjoy using this. A small piece of Romex in here, just in case I need to make jumpers for anything. This guy here is my Klien level. It's not the level that I use all the time, but because it has a laser on it, it'll turn on by itself. But I do like this for running conduit, especially for long runs. It really helps keep things straight and narrow. The last thing is another pair of Cobras. This is my second pair. Obviously, if you're running pipe or something, you always need a second pair of channel locks, and this is my go-to. I love the push button. Man, they make it so easy to just adjust, and you just have to set it one time and they're like that for the rest of the day. You don't have to worry about them slipping ever. Then I have these pair of scissors here. They're from Knipex as well. If you can't tell yet, I love the Knipex brand. Comes with that little holster, so I just keep them right here tucked away at the beginning. I do like these scissors quite a bit. Now in the front here, I just keep a couple bits. One of the cool things that I keep are these screw holders from Wera. It just pushes through like that. It holds your screw on to your screwdriver, and then when you tighten it, it just pops through the yellow or the larger size. I also keep a couple red and yellow wire nuts in this first zipper here, and then in this pocket here, I keep an interchangeable stubby, and then I also keep a marker. As you can see, I have not filled it out completely. There is room in there, but the biggest thing you run into is how heavy it gets with all these tools in here. So you really don't want to keep a whole lot more. This is the back side, and like I said, it's attached up here to this handle. It can get pretty heavy, so you don't want all that weight on the zipper. That's how they're able to have 2 sides, is that they have this little thing here that attaches, and it allows you to not put weight on the zippers, just on the handles. Now on this side, I don't have a ton in here, so it's gonna go by pretty quick. As you can see up top, I have this little Wera set right here. This is a super cool set. It's a Wera ratchet, the 1/4-inch set. It sounds amazing. It flips up or to whatever side you want it to flip to. You've got these little pockets up here that are this nylon. They're very stretchy. I've got a 1/4-inch drive to a 1/4-inch socket. A little pair of snips from Knipex as well. These little guys are pretty neat with the chrome finish. On this D-ring here, I keep a set of keys, mostly, for panels, fire alarms. Got a Sharpie up here. And then if we look over here, I've got this Wera bit driver. I've also got a retractable magnet, just in case anything ever gets dropped. Not that I've ever dropped anything, but I definitely have. This is the Fiskars drywall knife. There's a retractable blade in there, but it also is a drywall knife. I love these from Fiskars. A little bit from Felo. It's an automatic wire stripper. I don't always love the way this works, but if I'm in a pinch, it's fantastic, especially if the wires are short. Like if they're barely coming out of a box, I find that this is a lot easier to strip them with. I've got a case of bits here from Wera. I also keep my Weehaw bit case. I did a video on this. I'll put it in the description on one corner or the other. Everything is impact ready because I always have my 12-volt impact and it's so light, it fits in my backpack. Very, very rarely do I need to use anything where this isn't enough. It's the fuel. I mean, Milwaukee just does an amazing job. I have 2 sets of Allens here. I have a larger set and a smaller set of the fold-out Allens. Of course, I have a half-round file for reaming out pipe. This is my Fluke, it's a 323. It's the one that I prefer to carry, but this does AC and DC voltage, so it's the one that I like to keep every day. In our pockets here, we have in the bottom one and the one with the mesh, all kinds of goodies here, but I keep a set of Allens, longer Allens and shorter Allens that go into a 3/8 socket. I also have the socket in here. It's just a Husky. I've also got an extension and a piece that will go into my impact. I've also got a set of Husky sockets in here that are 3/8. Just a plethora of different size extensions. I have some Milwaukee impact sockets in here. I do keep the 7/16, half-inch, and 9/16 Milwaukee impact sockets in here because I frequently use them. I'm not gonna get all of those out because there's a ton of them. I don't need to go through all the sizes. In this back pocket, I have a outlet tester, and then I have a couple different lockouts in here as well. Wire marker, different attachments for my Fluke clamp meter. I also have this Milwaukee bit holder. Normally I keep tape in here on this back pocket, but I am currently like out of tape completely. And I have not restocked yet. So next time I stop by the supply house, I'm gonna have to pick up some tape. I do carry a pouch, so you're gonna notice some essentials. I'm gonna name them off real quick. Linemen's, diagonal cutters, strippers, 1 set of channel locks, which are the Cobras, a number 2 Phillips, a regular size flathead, a tape measure, a level. I have a knife in here. I have like 10 knives. I have a marker, usually a pencil as well. Those are some of the items that are missing from this bag that I obviously just carry in my pouch. It's just easier than transferring them. We'll go over the outside of the bag. The straps are super heavy duty and they latch on to this handle up here, which is incredibly heavy duty. Probably one of my favorite parts of the Veto Pro Pack bags. Aside from that, there is this little hook right here in case you want to hook it onto something so it doesn't tip over if you're on a lift and you're moving quite a bit, or so you can hoist it up onto something. I don't think I've ever done that. I don't know that I've ever even used the hook, to be honest with you, but it does have this nice sturdy base down here. Very, very rarely does it ever tip over unless you, like I said, are on a lift. You have your tape clip over here. I don't carry tape on there. I keep it inside the bag. It just tends to get less dirty. If we look at the front here, it's got these 2 straps that you can just click off and it opens up a little bit. I keep all my lockout stuff here that I use pretty frequently. I also keep a bits box. This has got everything in it that I would ever need. All the random stuff that you could ever want because you never know what you're gonna need and when. That's it for that. It's also got this little pouch up here, up top. And this basically is just good for all kinds of storage. You know, little clasp here, some identification for some facilities that I work at pretty frequently, earplugs. Oh man, I have some money in here apparently, some CED bucks. Not CBD, CED. It's an electrical supplier here in Indiana. Forgot about that. On this side of the bag, we have a hammer. I keep my hammer in this little loop. it would fit in the bag. It's just easier if it's not in there. It just goes through one of these little D-rings here, and then we've got a tape clip here. I think things that are on there tend to fall off just because of the way I swing my backpack. That is the extent of what I carry in my bag. Thank you so much for watching.